Hey guys, welcome to FIDE World Cup 2019 Finals. This finals is being played between Ding Liren and Taimur Rajabov, and 6 games have been played so far with the scores of 3 each. This is the 7th game, and I did make videos of the 2 of the previous games that were won by each player. So there is a link in the description below or towards the end of this video as well. Those were amazing games. This is game 7. Strict to time controls, we have 5 minutes and 3 seconds of increment, so it's a blitz game. And this is just a picture from one of their games. They're just shaking hands during the start of the position. And now we have Taimur Rajabov here, who is thinking about the position, and this is from one of the longer time format games. Here, this is an interesting picture because Ding Liren is looking at Taimur Rajabov as Ding has extended a draw, but Taimur Rajabov rejected it. So Ding Liren is like, okay, why did you reject it? And what are you thinking? And this is the stare. Again, FIDE has taken all these pictures and they have all the copyrights to these pictures. So with that information, let's get into the game. We have Taimur Rajabov who has the black pieces and Ding Liren has the white pieces. Ding opens with knight to f3, this is the ready opening, and we have knight to f6. g3, which is the king's Indian attack, and d5, which is the Yugoslav variation. So bishop to g2, putting this bishop on a nice diagonal, and e6, just defending this pawn. Castles by white and bishop to e7. We have d4 and now castles by black as well. So pretty early in the game on move 5, both the players have castles and they are ready for a fight. c4, d takes c4, and now queen to c2, simply going after this pawn. Because it's a blitz game, you don't want to leave the pawns hanging, as it becomes quite difficult later on and complicated. You don't want to waste a lot of time trying to capture a pawn. So immediately going after the pawn. We have a6 and now a4, not allowing this b5 to come with the support of this piece. So we get bishop to d7, a nice developing move, and now finally queen takes c4, eliminating the pawn. And you have to eliminate such kind of pawns early in the game, especially when you're playing blitz chess. Well, in the longer time formats you can bait and you can maneuver your pieces and then capture. But in such cases, you definitely, it's worthy of capturing these pawns. Bishop to c6. Now putting the bishop against this nice, wonderful bishop that white has. Once the knight moves, these two bishops will be staring at each other, and bishop to f4, developing this bishop as well. Bishop to d6. Now these two bishops are staring at each other. And queen to c1, just defending. So in case of captures, you're going to get queen captures. Knight b to d7, and now rook to e1, simply defending this pawn, and now this pawn is ready to be pushed further. We get queen to e7, putting the queen on a nice diagonal, and now we have knight to c3, a developing move. Bishop takes f3, bishop takes f3, bishop takes f4, queen takes f4. So in this position, black has given up its bishop pair pretty early in the game, and white has given up the dark square bishop. He only has a light square bishop now. Also, this light square bishop is attacking this b7, and the queen is attacking this pawn here on c7. So c6, getting rid of both the threads. Now we have a5, pushing it even further, not allowing any of this pawn to be pushed, and this now becomes a weakness in black's position. Rook a to d8 and rook e to d1. Both of them are putting the rooks on this nice e file, because when this pawn is exchanged off, looks like the e file is going to be open. Let's see. e5. Now that's exactly what black wants to do. And we get queen to e3. Because the queen was attacked, just queen moves. Rook f to e8, now putting more support on this e file, and d5, now pushing it even further. We get e4, and This is completely fine position because now you can even push d6, but d6 will then become a weakness because once you move the queen, again your bishop will be attacked, you have to move your bishop. So here Ding just decides he just wants to play bishop back to g2, and that's what he does. Bishop comes back to g2. C takes d5, knight takes d5, knight takes d5, and rook takes d5. A lot of exchanges on this d5 square, and knight to f6, now attacking this rook. There is no point in bringing the rook back, so rook just captures on d8, rook captures d8 and h3. So after this h3 move, both the players were running on fumes and they did not have a lot of time on their hands. It's just 3 seconds increment that you get, and it was not enough. So both the players are now just trying to find the best ideas with utilizing the least amount of time. And after h3 we have queen to b4, b3, now just defending this pawn, h5, now pushing, Rajabov has his own pawn, so he's going to keep pushing. King to h2 and rook to d5. Queen to f4 and rook takes a5, finally getting rid of this pawn here. Rook takes a5 and queen takes a5. Now both the rooks are off the board. Black has one knight against a bishop and a queen against a queen. This lone pawn here could be a target pretty soon. So bishop to b8 check first. Now king to h7 and queen takes b7, eliminating this pawn. Also a double attack on this pawn, and you can support this b3 pawn as well. So pretty interesting move this. Queen to f5 and king to g1. After king to g1 we have e3, and this really was the first kind of a mistake of the game. So for 31 moves they played precise chess, and this was the first mistake. Not really a mistake as such, but instead what he should have done was just defend, go back with the queen and just defend this a6 pawn. You don't really want to allow this a6 pawn to be hanging. Of course, white won't capture it immediately because then you get check and you are threatening checkmate. You don't really want to allow the queen to get into this position. So not capturing, but instead f takes e3 and queen to e6, now finally protecting this pawn. We have king to f2 and now queen to f5 check. Queen to f3, hoping for a queen trade, and queen to e6, declining the trade. e4, now we have g6. King to g1 and knight to d7, trying to remaneuver the knight. Now it is going to attack this and this pawn once it gets to this c5 square. So queen to c3, not allowing this knight to come with a threat of this, not that, but this nice fork. And now knight to e5. So he says, okay, I'm not going to maneuver here, but I'm going to put my knight here. I'm going to blockade this pawn from being pushed further. b4, now he has a pass pawn, so he can try to push it. And now queen to d6. Just simply trying to get to d1 square and trying to give the king a few checks, if possible. King to f2, not allowing the check. Knight to c6, finally getting to the square and attacking this piece. Now this pawn is attacked twice. Queen to c5, hoping for a queen trade. Now you cannot really capture this pawn here, because if you capture then you drop the queen. So queen to d4 check, and now kind of forcing this queen captures, and then you're going to capture with the knight, and again you're going to attack this piece. Once you go back you can attack this pawn as well. So black has pretty good chances here. A lot of good ideas. Queen takes d4, knight takes d4 and e5. Now since you have a pawn, you have to keep pushing. Also open up this bishop. This bishop has been sitting on this g2 square for a long time. It has gone from f3 to g2. And there is nothing that he has done so far in the game. Knight to c2, now going after this pawn, and bishop to d5. The idea was to go after this backward pawn. King to g7 defending. Now we have e6. F takes e6 and bishop takes e6. Knight takes b4 and king to e3. Now the king wants to go closer to this pawn and try to capture this pawn. King to f6, not allowing because now you have to protect your bishop. Bishop to d7 first and king to e5, not allowing the king to enter into the game, not yet at least. Bishop to e8, not going after this pawn here on g6. Knight to d5, check. King to d3 and knight to e7. Just defending this wonderful backward pawn because you want to keep that pawn. You want to eventually bring your knight closer and try to attack these pieces. So, king to c4. Now you get a5 and king to c5. You have king to f6 and king to b5. This was the first mistake that White did, and he played 51 precise moves. Again, running on fumes, he has like 5 seconds on the clock, so he is in a hurry, of course, because there's nothing he can do. So now, the reason why this is a bad move, because now you're going to get knight to f5 and you're going to attack this pawn. And that's exactly what Rajabov plays, knight to f5. It's a perfect opportunity because now you allow this captures. If you don't, if you do something else like pushing this pawn for example, or even if you try to push this pawn, then you get knight to d6 and this forks your king with a check and your bishop. So then you lose a bishop and it's a completely winning game for black from there. So Rajabov saw this, but Ding Liren missed this, and when he played king to b5, that was a bad move. Knight to f5, Rajabov found it correctly. So king takes a5, knight takes g3, and now also attacking this e pawn here. And bishop to b5, simply defending the pawn. He could have pushed it as well, but then knight is then going to attack this pawn and try to, you cannot keep an eye on both the pawns because king is coming into the game, and eventually you are definitely going to drop one of the pawns, and then black is going to push his pawns. We have g5 and king to b4, trying to get the king closer into the game. King to e5 and king to c3. King to f4. Again, this was a mistake. What he should have done instead was given a knight check, and I'm going to show you this variation. So instead of king to f4, knight to e4, and let's go back a move. So instead of this, he should have played knight to e4 check. Now king to d3 and knight to f2 check. Now you attack this king and attack this pawn. So this pawn is definitely falling. King to e3, knight takes h3, and this is definitely a winning position because now you have two passed pawns and a knight that can defend these two queening squares. So, but Rajabov missed it because of time pressure. I mean, given a longer time duration, they would have definitely found this, but because of time pressure, with less than 5 seconds on the clock, there is nothing you can do. After king to f4, we have king to d2, getting closer to this pawn, not allowing it to be captured, and now you can also move your bishop to try and protect this h3 pawn. Knight to e4 with check, and king to e1. King to g3, now going closer to this pawn, and bishop to d7, defending. We have h4 and e3. This is a completely lost position. There is not much White can do here. He has to keep protecting, but this pawn is definitely falling. Knight to f2, and here is how Rajabov decides to capture this. Knight to f2. King to f1. Finally, now you're going after this pawn. Knight takes h3, e4, and not immediately capturing, because that would be a mistake. Then it's game over because you're going to just push this pawn, and you're definitely going to win the game. It's much faster than this white pawn. So knight to f4, immediately saving the knight, and this is completely over for white. We have e5, trying to make some counterplay, trying to push the pawns, but we just get h3. Now what are you going to do? Next move, I'm going to play h2 and then h1. So you have to give up trying to push this pawn, to give up the control over this e6 square, and bishop to c6. Now you have to control this h1 square, that is a queening square. h2, I am one just move closer to queening, and now bishop to b7. There is nothing white can do, he just has to wait. Now look at this, black knight is perfectly covering this square, and all you have to do is now push this pawn, move the king aside, push the pawn even further, and then it's all game over. So g4, that's exactly what Rajabov does. Bishop to c6, and now king to h3. Bishop to b7, g3. That is nothing white can do. Bishop to c8 check, king to h4, and finally bishop to b7. Again, keeping an eye on this queening square. King to g5, now going after this pawn, and Rajabov has all the time in the world, so he can go after this pawn, then again come back and nicely defend his position, because this king has to make a lot of moves. 1, 2, 3, 4 moves. Not really. I mean, this king is stuck. He cannot even make this move, because as soon as you make the move, you are going to bring the queen into the game, you're going to give a check, and then you're also going to attack this bishop. So white is completely stuck, and bishop to e4 now, not allowing the king to enter. Now if the king has to enter, he has to go through this route. And it's just making Rajabov's life a little difficult, but it's nothing new for any grandmaster. He can definitely play this out. King to g4 and e6, finally pushing, giving up the pawn. Knight takes e6, king to g2, and knight to f4, again back with check. Now you have eliminated the pawn, the knight is free to cover these squares, and you can also bring the king into the game. King to h1, knight to h3. Now your king is definitely in a pretty bad position. Bishop to f3 check, and in this position, if you capture, then it's stalemate. So make sure whenever you are in the end game and your opponent is giving up one of the pieces, make sure that it's not a stalemate, because now your king doesn't have any squares to go. The white king doesn't. So not capturing, but king to g2, and after this position, actually king to f4 first and then king to g2, and in this position, Ding realized that he's not going to survive, but he still played a couple of more moves. Knight to f2 was played, now protecting this queening square, not allowing this king to jump to h1, and king to f1. King takes f3, finally eliminating this bishop that you had, and this is completely over. It's just checkmate in 3 moves, so if you guys have some time, pause the video and try to find it. With this wonderful game, Rajabov took 1-0 lead, and I hope you all enjoyed the 7th game of the finals. There is one more game to be played, and if Ding Liren equalizes, then we move on to the next round. If not, Rajabov will be declared the winner of the World Cup 2019, the FIDE World Cup 2019. So, that's all from me. Namaste. See you next time.